Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm currently in the back of my car. Let me show you what's going on. So I've got myself an iTech World 100 amp super slim battery, and we need to figure out a way to mount it. Now I've already done some removal of the back trim, which sucks because this is all one piece, and I was hoping that we could have a panel here that I could take apart like the newer D-Maxes, but that's not the case. So I just got it off for now. I'm going to put it back on once we figure out how we're going to mount this, but I was just seeing what's behind here, and we can fit this behind the seat, that's why I got it, but there's no like trays or that are made up for my vehicle, so we're gonna have to make one ourselves. I've had a look around already and I've got an idea. So we got our seat mount, we got one here and we got one here, which gives us enough space for our battery. And then this part isn't, this is the actual back wall, so if we screw through that we go through the back, but this is a brace that we can screw it into, and even up here we can screw it into here. So what I'm thinking is I use both of them bolt holes and have a tray that comes out and up and then curves up, and then we just two screws here, and then we can mount this to the tray that's here. But we put all this trim back on first because I hate looking at, you can see this edge here and all this, which I'm not a fan of. So I think we are gonna have to do some CAD. I'll just quickly show you a little rough mount. So I'm aiming to have it mounted to something like this. So the battery there with the charger here facing up so I can see all the lights on top. I want to have that there so I could just kind of see if I could tuck around the corner and see it. So let's get some measurements. Excuse my terrible drawings. And I drew this up, so this is like a angle this way 45 pence, and 3 and 60 out, that's like and this is the bottom, that's what so that's the two bottles. Alright guys, so we changed plans. I couldn't get that bracket made up, so everything you just watched me make on CAD, don't worry about. I've got these straps, as you can see, and they just mount to these points here, but on the underside, and I got them angled to push the battery back, and I've put it on top of the seat bolt. Now the nut's holding the seat down, and then I put this on top of the nut because this floor raises up a bit, so it kind of lines up perfect. I've got a nut ordered, so I'm going to end up putting a nut on this, and then this other side is pretty much the same, so I just got it angled there. I just got this bit of plywood and I just screwed it with 2 hex screws, and that's literally all that's holding the battery and this together. And then I just got these tie down straps rated for 100 kilos, the 1 meter ones, and I actually put both of these onto this baby carriaging hook tether, top tether. So if I want a baby seat in here, this is the only seat that I can put it in, which is fine with me. And I just mounted this just next to it. This is it, pretty much how I'm gonna have it mounted, and I haven't tested the seat, so let's test the seat. And there we are, the seat is on. That's beautiful, you can just see it there. I think that is pretty much perfect. Now what I need to do is run this plug and play DC-DC charger to the battery, I believe. I got a normal alternator, not a smart one, so I don't need this blue cable, which is a nice thing. But the next thing to do is run this to my start battery, I believe. Alright guys, I've got an update. So we got it hooked up to our battery. This is for a smart alternator, which I don't believe I have. Fuse is out, and then I've ran it through the firewall grommet. And then, are we going to be able to see under here? That comes up through here. I don't know if you can see that. My screen is a bit dark. Through there, underneath this trim, that's easy to take off. It's just one screw or nut here, plastic nut here, and it just pulls off. And then I ran it through the door trim. I had to take this seatbelt one off. It just pops off, but that comes off really easy, so don't stress too much about that. Just if you want to find out how, just search up how to remove the seatbelt, and they show you how to take that off real easy. So that runs through that and it comes around here. I couldn't fit it through this gap, so it goes around. Comes around here, then through here, underneath this bit, which pops out in this corner here. And then I'm just going to run it down the back for the rest and cable tie it where I can. Slides on them seats. Like that, and that's in. I'm happy with that. Let's run this, plug it in, and then it should be all done. Alright, fuse is in. Trim is on. Cable running down the back, and the battery's back in. Plugged in, lithium on the DC charger. Got an alternator flashing, and I'm gonna say she's charging, because if we look at our app, status charging, time remaining 30 minutes. We're at 84% out of 100, so we're still up high. I think that's a successful install. My plan was to come out and put a fuse here. Let me zoom you out. Come out of the 120, put a fuse, out the fuse, through this air vent, which then goes through that air vent, which then goes through this grommet, if that's a grommet, I think it is, through there into my box. But I'm waiting for all the cabling to do, so I can do the cabling before I permanently install that box. I'm also waiting on a bunch of gear for that. So that is it for the battery install. Thank you guys for watching. I will catch you when I install the cargo box, I believe. I think that's the next thing I got to do, so I'll see you in that video.